Hi, I'm Mark Collins, married to Aiko Shimada over here, father to Rumi Shimada. He took her last name because there were reasons for that. We live here in Meadow Vista in this lovely house, being interviewed by Mr. Pigeon here, and don't know quite what else to say yet. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Aiko Shimada. I am married to Mark Collins, a mom. I have a pet dog. I'm from Japan originally. I came here when I was 18. I am a little over 60, so I've been here for more than 40 years.
Oh man. Oh, that's something that would take a while to unspool. Still working on it. Still figuring it out. I guess that's kind of the whole ball of wax, isn't it? I mean, still interested in hearing what people have to say about it. Such a deep topic. It's about this moment and being present, being open, and finding a way to be the best person you can so that you can love as fully as possible. Sounds corny, but super subtle, super massive. It goes in both directions. It's like,
Have thought about this quite some time. My sort of a definition of love is when you feel like you're not separate from the person or the things that you love. That's when we call it love or when we feel love. Whether it's like somebody that you love, all of a sudden you almost don't think of yourself as separate from that person. It's like we're one. So that's kind of thought about it.
left to our own devices, Aiko start with her. She might have ideas.
Okay, I doesn't have to be just one, right? Okay, so is Jim Jarmusch the not the very first one? What's the Stranger Than Paradise, Down by Law? What's his name is in that movie? Tom Waits, John Lurie. That Down by Law, people should watch. And then I love like a lot of foreign films. Gosh, there's so many of them. I don't know, like Spanish filmmaker Victor Elise. He made a film called Spirit of the Beehives. Beautiful, amazing movie. Then I like kind of I don't know, mainstream films like, the little animal, the Groundhog Day. And I love that movie because of the meaning behind it. Very Buddhist to me. And I'm not like officially a Buddhist, but I just love the concept of it. Pass the microphone to Mark.
Well, there's one movie that comes to mind. Andrei Tarkovsky had this movie called The Sacrifice. It was probably my introduction to him. Everything's kind of slow paced, beautiful cinematography. It's like one of the most beautiful panning shots I've ever seen. I remember that'll always stick with me. That's that Thelonious Monk movie, Straight No Chaser. Everyone should see that. Once you're gone, my head is just going to be full of. I could have said there are some great Radiohead videos. Knives Out. That's an incredible vid. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's, I'm sure the person who made that is probably it. You got to talk to this guy. He brings things out of you.
You gotta talk to this guy.
I so when I first came from Japan, I was 18, finished high school, and I came here meaning Oregon, Corvallis, Oregon. There was a restaurant, really cool vegetarian restaurant called Nearly Normals. I love to, I went there. He was working there. And I thought, ooh, he's cute. Well, I mean, that's how we met. Yeah.
Well, I thought she's cute. Yeah, the first time I saw her was at this another place in Corvallis called Squirrels. this great bar. It had a stairwell up to a second floor that had pool tables and stuff. That the landing in between, there'd be bands would play there. I remember coming down that same stairway. She was coming up, and I didn't have my glasses on, and I just saw this beautiful smile. I got scared, and I went the other direction. And, or something like that. I was like, I didn't know what to do. You know, for some reason, I was really unsettled. And she followed me. Wherever I went, there, I looked, oh, there she is. I remember, that's what I remember. Yeah.
I have to tell a story. Okay, so I met him, but I met his room first. I had a friend, Bill Burton. He was this like hippie, you know, quite a bit older than regular students.
Vietnam vet.
Yeah, Vietnam vet. He joined Japanese club, and that's how I got to know him.
Barefoot Bill.
He would always help me with like writing paper, and you know, because my English wasn't very good. There was this room, the door was open and nobody was in it, like a bed mattress on the floor, a suitcase, and a pillow. I don't think there was even a blanket, and a guitar. And I'm like, hey Bill, who's this? And Bill goes, oh, his name's Mark. Okay, and then I saw sheet music, like jazz standard sheet music. So I actually met his guitar and his room first.
Wow.
Yeah.
We had a lovely
Interviewed
time.
by Brandon
Yeah.
Pigeon.
Yeah.
I love his last name.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a good one. We talk a lot. We come at things from kind of a different place, but I'm sort of a pseudo-science-y guy. I really love evolution, and I sleep outside as much as I can because I love to stare at the sky. I hope this leads to something related to what you're saying. I feel like it does. The zodiac constellations basically follow the ecliptic, which is the path that the sun takes, that we take with the other planets as we circle it. Anyway, it's just thrilling to watch the planets slowly move. I'm watching Mars as it nudges east. You know, you get oriented by this particular map and on the ground here, and then I'll reorient differently to another landscape. So I don't know, the spiritual thing to me is like feeling all this, you know, feeling a connectedness to it. This I feel of connectedness, ultimately.
Okay, the thing that pops out in my head right away is that when a baby's born, they have the eyes to see, but they're seeing just everything, right? Like blurry, whatever. I don't know what they really see. I don't remember that when I was born. They don't see what we see, like the shape of the person, or, I mean, they are seeing it, but they're not seeing the way we see because they're totally wide open. I think that the physical reality, that it's just like everything, you know, millions of frequencies and vibrations and all that like coming at you. For us, in order to be able to live in a society, you have to know that this crazy stuff is an armchair. Mom and dad will say, armchair, you know, a microphone, and then kids start to distinguish the shape of it, and oh, that's microphone, you know, this armchair. You know, we start to see things in a very limited way. That first reality, to me, is the reality, and that those are all different energies. Now, you know, my eyes are limited to take in things as an object.
I wish I had given that answer.
Reality is so unbelievably complex.
That's star.
I think when I was in high school, I was listening to this one radio station that had this weird DJ who played everything. I heard this group called Oregon. A bunch of guys, I think, went to the University of Oregon or something, and they had an upright bass player. It was all acoustic, you know, tabla and reeds and guitar and bass and piano. Beautiful raw sound. I'd never heard it before, you know. The Pentangle is this English folk group. They have, was it Danny Thompson? Man, I was like, wow, this is the best. And started getting interested in jazz and heard Charlie Hayden, who's one of the greatest bass players who ever lived. Other bass players weren't quite doing it for me, you know. But there's certain players that just had something that was... Aiko and I met. I got this electric bass, just this heavy thing, and I was playing with her. And then we met a guy, Michael, who was an upright player, and we went over to his house, and he had 2 basses on the wall, 2 upper bass, and I just gravitated to this thing, and he and I started just playing. First time I'd ever played an upright bass, and it was magic. And I borrowed a bass from him. And I'd been listening to music all this time, so I didn't start playing upright till I was 31 or so. Yeah, it's just an amazing instrument. It's such an amazing instrument, and I'm still realizing how little I know. And I love Gannon's playing, you know, for example. You know, those guys are amazing. I love listening to them. They seem to like my playing too, and I'm not sure whether they're just being nice or not, but.
So my roommate, when I was in college, said that I could have this guitar. In this town, Corvallis, where I went to college, there was a cafe, and there was this folk rock band playing. I always wanted to sing, but I didn't think I could be a singer for some reason. So I came up to the band leader and I said, hey, can I sing harmony? Because I'm really good at singing harmony parts. And he said, well, if you can play the rhythm guitar, I'll let you in. And I'm like, coming from Japan to America, I thought for some reason I could someday become a musician. So I said, okay, I'll do it. That's how I got this guitar. I don't know, it just has this like really beautiful harmonic. It's kind of banged up, 1980s till now. I called you in my dream, but you never came to me.
You got to talk to this guy. He brings things out of you.